WTF Wednesday today is What's the Frustration? Under our heading of PMO stuff which people think is boring or gets in the way, but it's actually really important. I came across something yesterday. We've got people really busy delivering at the moment, but a submission deadline popped out of the woodwork and hit us right between the eyes. So my client contacted, I think roundabout now we usually have to prepare a pack for some report or other. So I checked and the report was actually due in 2 days' time. So I had to go to the project managers and say, really sorry to have to do this to you, but I'm going to need an update from you in 2 days' time. It's similar in format to the update that you would normally provide once a week, but it's actually about the monthly time frame because this is a different audience. It's slightly out of sync with the calendar month end, but it's an update on the last month's activities. And I got some understandably frustrated responses saying, you know, yet another update in yet another format. I'm trying to pull together some sort of heartbeat of what information people need on what timescale. But what I'm finding is that the people who want this information can't tell you when they need it. And as I say, the timeframes don't line up. So it's not as though you can reuse information from this elsewhere update to put into that update. That is why it's important to try and understand what information updates people need to give and to try and get it so that the information flows from one to another, so that the poor project manager trying to deliver something only has to do a weekly update and a monthly update that gets reused across multiple places, rather than having to try and recreate this stuff all the time.
And
so
get last minute notification of said update, which never goes down well.
Some of this stuff is for meetings, and the people who are in the meetings are very senior people, so maybe they have to reschedule. But at the very least, what you could do instead would be to schedule out the whole of the year and then tweak individual ones.
Then you deal with it by exception rather than
by
it feeling.
Exception, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So you put in a process to deal with the situation that crops up 90% of the time.
Yes.
And then deal with the exceptions as and when they arise. Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? So that's what I'm now trying to do.
It's number one thing, isn't it? When you go into a client, your number one thing is to sit down and say, what does the calendar look like? What does the cadence look like? What is the heartbeat of the cycle that you run with? And you've got certain placeholders. You go to your finance department and you say, when do you run month end? When are the figures available? You can put that in your calendar, and then you can say, well, actually, X days before that, I can start prepping this bit. And then when they come in on working day 5, we can do our financial updates, and it all flows, doesn't it?
It's exactly that. A bit like a project plan in miniature. So you would start with the end in mind, start at the right hand end. This is right for me. I don't know if it is for you. I hope it is. Start at the right hand end and work backwards. So, you know, if you've got the meeting on that day and you need to prepare an information pack for it, that needs to be reviewed to make sure it's all okay. So you build in some time for that. And then you build in some time to actually write the stuff and get it submitted. Then you build in some time to gather the information. And I mean, all that takes a bit of time. Obviously, you'd aim for that to be as short as possible.
Exactly your point is you work yourself backwards from that. The meeting is here. And I need to do these things, which ends up typically a week before, doesn't it? That you need the
something
stuff.
Like that.
Yes.
And the chap who normally prepares the things is in a very high level set of workshops this week, so he couldn't do it. So I'm having to do it, which makes it a little bit difficult. And I hate having to make these last minute requests of people.
But this is the reality of how people are working. And back to your point of everyone is running around doing busy work because of that. There's your podcast right there. Sit round with a beer and just go, guess what I saw this week?